Hello there, I'm Coach T, Greg Thomas, head wrestling coach at Piper High School, which is in Kansas City, Kansas. I've been coaching 33 years. Today we're going to show you the 3 phases of wrestling. We're going to start with the bottom technique, we're going to show you top, and then we're going to show you some things on the feet, takedowns. Then we'll also show you a few tactics. And like I said, by no means are we showing you everything there is to wrestling. It would take too long. We're just going to show you a few fun things that you may be able to add to your repertoire. Now, there's a lot of basic things we could show you, but a lot of you guys with experience already know that. So we're going to show you just a few different things, maybe some different setups, some different finishes, and you take it and run with it. So we're getting ready to have some fun here. Introduce some of the people I have here helping us out today. First of all, we got John Thomas. John is a Pitt State graduate there, wrestled for many, many years, won several titles. Senior year was 49-0, had 398 takedowns. Been doing this thing a long time, so he's going to help us out here. He's also part of that national championship Pitt State football in 2011. Next we have Stephen Gordon. Stephen Gordon will be a senior here at Piper. Probably around 152, be my guess, 152, 160, depending on how many Happy Meals he's had. He's wrestled for quite a few years as well. And the third person we'll have for right now will be Pierce Holyfield. He is a junior here at Piper High School. So we'll get started here in just a little bit. Here we go. Okay, first thing we're going to do is we're going to work on a few bottom techniques. Got to be able to get away from people. So we're going to have John Thomas underneath. One of the things that we do is we have all 5 fingers together, and they're at a 45-degree angle, and we've got some bend in the elbow. That way you have no greatly reduce the chance of having any elbow dislocations and your fingers getting dislocated because they're all together. Okay, we got toes curled back behind you. Back when I wrestled in college, I had my feet flat. A lot of guys have their feet flat. So there's different ways of doing that. But just one of the things we're going to show you today is having the toes curl so you can get up. And like I said, I know there's pros and cons to that, but that's what we're going to show today. Our weight is back, so that way if you set a Dr. Pepper on his back, it would fall off backwards. So that's very important to not be straight and level. So you'd have like a puddle form in the middle of the back. You won't be able to fall off to the back. Then we'll have Steve-O go ahead and take hold. We'll take hold, we'll do it on the left side. Naturally, for the wrestlers with very little experience, you realize you could be on either side. So we're just going to show the moves from the left side, but you can do them on the other side as well. Okay, so right now, since we're just showing the bottom, we won't go over what Steve-O's doing on top. So the first thing we're going to show you is a stand-up. Now we know there's a whole bunch of ways of doing a stand-up. So whatever way you're doing a stand-up, that's fine. But we're just going to show you a way, and if you can use this at all, that's fine. If not, if you have another way, go ahead and go for it. Because it's not about necessarily the exact technique. It's the confidence you have in what you do, your mental approach, and you being in shape mentally and physically to be able to carry out a task. So you never argue with somebody about how to do a certain thing because there's different ways of doing things. Okay, so I like to have our guys come straight out and cut out the middleman, not an inside stand-up or an outside, just come straight up if at all possible. So I'll blow the whistle and John will come up. But an important thing to remember with the stand-up is you need to have hand control. If you are not controlling hands when you stand up, then a good guy will grab your arm, trap your arm, your elbow, and he'll slam you on your head. And there'll be a lot of pain and suffering that will be unnecessary because of that. So when I blow the whistle, John's going to stand up and he'll stop right there. Ready? He's up right there. Okay, so and he's working for hand control. Okay, so since Steve was on the left side, that meant his right hand was around the waist. So John's trying to work a 2-on-1 on that hand. And you see where his weight is. He's upright. He's not leaning over forward. He's up. He's got a lot of back pressure. John's pressuring the Steve-O, which keeps Steve-O's weight off of him. Okay, and his hips are out like so. His knees are bent. He's not going to stay here for a long period of time. We're just slowing this down for you guys right now. He's got hand control. Then what we're going to do, we're going to, some people call it cutting the corner. We're going to choo-choo train, whatever you want to call it. We're going to chop with his left arm, and he's going to basically hip heist out and end up facing. So he gets 1 point for that, for a loss of control or an escape. That's a stand-up. Okay? All right. To go along with something, there's an inside stand-up, an outside stand-up, where you bring one leg up, that type of thing. But basically, when you're coming up, make sure you have hand control, however you want to do your stand-up. Do not stand up and not have hand control. All right? Okay. Next thing we'll show is an outside switch. Go ahead and take hold. Outside switch, meaning that Steve-O's on the left side, he's going to do a switch to the outside. Most people know how to do a switch, and there's a whole bunch of ways of doing it. And we're going to show, I call this the Iowa State style of switch because I learned from a guy that wrestled Iowa State years ago. Okay? So what we're going to do here is, since John's left hip is his near hip, he's going to sit on his left hip. He's sitting on his hip. He's always going to sit on his hip. Not sitting out, not doing anything extra that's going to prolong this thing. So he's going to sit on his hip. Okay? Then from there, he's going to be taking his left hand and pulling it away and turning it. And he's going to take his right arm and go inside the crotch. So he's got leverage over his arm, inside the crotch. And from here, You see where he is? Out the side. He's going to put back pressure into Steve-O. So he's up off his hips, putting pressure into him. Now, a real weak guy's going to go flat. If you're in like a state championship, NCAA championship, somebody pretty tough, they're going to stay up. So you got pressure on him here. Now from here, we're going to hip heist. So John's going to take his right leg and it's going to come underneath his left leg, and he's going to end up out to the side. Okay. Now, we stay out to the side instead of going around behind him and putting our arm around the waist so he can do a thing called a re-switch. So we're cutting out the middleman on that. That is a secret around here. Don't let anybody around here know that. So he's out to the side and he's either grabbing the near ankle or high on the thigh. And you shut down any of those reversals that can come out of that, okay? So one more time, we'll show you an outside switch. And I'm gonna blow the whistle and let him do the switch. Like that, it comes a hip heist, comes over on top. Sometimes it can be a scramble in there. If you can get back points if at all possible. But if it's a scramble, what you wanna do if you get caught in a situation, come on top, see what you just got like in a hip heist situation. Then turn so the camera can see you. Turn back this way. Come back the other way. Turn it. There you go. If you get in here and it's a little bit of a struggle, then sometimes you got to scoot. You got to have quick hips. And this is where John was very good at scooting those hips and getting those hips out and around the guy. Sometimes you have to just get away. But the idea is you sit on your hip, arm in the crotch. You got leverage of the arm, and you go fast. You got to go fast. Okay. All right. Next thing is going to be a Peterson. It's a roll. Some people call it a Granby. I've noticed as I travel around the country that people call things different things. So we're calling this a Peterson. So don't get on there saying, oh, that's a Granby, because some people call it something different. But anything, he's on the left side. John's going to take his right arm and grab his right wrist. Okay? That does not telegraph, because you can do a lot of things when you grab the right wrist. From here, he's going to take his left arm and put it up against his head or up against his body to cut so Steve-O can't put a half Nelson in. Then he's going to try to, the motion is you're trying to take your left ear and put it in between his legs. Okay, so that's what we call it a Peterson. You're putting your left ear between his legs, and at the same time, you're going to start rolling to your right, and then catch his leg as you go. So he rolls, bang. Now if we can get you guys a turn. Get him a turn so you guys can see that. Do it again. He's going to grab the wrist. John's right arm grabs his right wrist. He turns, puts his left arm up against his body, rolls to the right. Make sure you don't roll at an angle here. You want to roll straight to the right. Some of the things we do are at a 45-degree angle, but this thing you want to go straight to the side. So once it gets into here, here's an important part. Now you've got two for reversal. You've threaded between the legs, if you can. If for some reason you can't, his legs are together, then just hook over the top of them. Sometimes it's a body language issue there. Just look like you're in control. Look like you're the man and stay on top and keep the arm, and eventually you should get 2 points there. But if you can, thread the near leg underneath, and you've got his arm. Your right arm has his right arm, and you're pulling it that way to keep his shoulder down. You have your back on his chest, your head is down, you're looking underneath his chin. You're seeing if he shaved today. Okay? Reason being, if you get your head up, some guys can take their leg and kick you over the head and cause a lot of problems where you end up in a stalemate situation or a very uncomfortable situation. So have your back on his chest, look under his chin. Your legs, you want your legs to be somewhere near his head. You don't want your legs to be down near his legs. That'll be bad. He can hook in your legs, do some kind of reverse Turk type stuff, cause you some issues of control, where the referee end up going maybe in a stalemate situation. So have your legs out by his head, show control. You're up off your hips. You got pressure on him. It's hard to pin a guy up here unless he's really worn out, but you're going to get your full near fall points there. Now from here, we would roll to the legs and roll him to his base, cut him loose and take him down another 5 or 6 times, or there's another finish to that, which we'll show you at a later date. But that's our Peterson roll. That is a good reversal where you can get back points on that situation. All right. And that will that'll conclude the techniques on the bottom situation. Real quick, we're going to go over some match tactics. Let's say John's down, Steve-O's in control, and let's say there's 5 seconds left in the match. Go ahead and take hold. And it's a tie score, so any points win. So you really don't have time to be doing a stand-up. When you do a stand-up, you can shoot it on your leg, cause problems. In this situation, you get the outside switch. Bang, hit the switch real quick. Bang. Okay, so now I saw a guy win state championship with 2 seconds left, hit a switch. Okay, so that's something you can do in a short period of time. Okay, now you're back down. Let's say there's 12 seconds left and you're down 6-2, you need 4 points. Okay, so now that's where your tuck would come in. You want your 5-point reverse. Go ahead and tuck him in. 5-point move, you go ahead and hit him because you get the 2 reversal and you get near fall. And you keep him on his back. Some guys get in this situation and end up holding the guy down for a length of time, and then the guy gets off his back. There's no reason for him to get off his back once you're here. You got to take charge and be the man right here. Okay, so if you're holding there for the rest of the period, you win the match. But the idea underneath is to go fast. Okay, if you're ahead, John's down and he's ahead, but he's been warned for stalling. Okay, so the referee's looking ready to tie this match up. So you got to move. You can't lay there. You got to be moving. A couple of keys underneath. The successful mat wrestler underneath is have hand control. Really, in every phase of wrestling, top, neutral, and bottom, you want to control the guy's hand. The guy that controls the hands controls the show. So you want to have control. If you have control of his hands, now for the most part, you put him in a defensive situation. Now our guys will know a couple of things from what we call a false situation, where he's got your hand control, he's got your hand, you can still score. We won't go over that right now. That's something for a later date. But idea, if you get hand control underneath, you're going to pretty much be able to stop him from scoring, and you get the victory. But I see guys getting flat and laying around. Don't do that. Keep moving underneath.